last speaker of this event, I would like to introduce you Manush here on stage. Hello, welcome Manush. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
First off, congratulations on being part of the Future 5. How did you feel when you knew you were selected?
I mean, it's quite the accomplishment to be voted as one of the 5 most promising entrepreneurs of Belgium, so really great, really an honor.
Okay, lovely. In a minute, I will give you the floor because, as you know, pitching is a vital skill for entrepreneurs. So I'm sure the audience would love to know who you are, who Browse is, your company, your startup, and what drives you as an entrepreneur. So take up your place and go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Manush, one of the 3 co-founders of Browse, and I'm here to tell you a bit about what we are doing and who we are. So it all started here in Antwerp when me and my 2 co-founders in the audience met during our studies of innovation and entrepreneurship, and we said, okay, we need to start a company, we need to save the environment, what are we going to do? And the problem that struck our minds was this one. We walked into a supermarket, we saw a shelf full of plastic packaging, and these products all do more or less the same. They clean, but they also have more or less the same problem. They consist of up to 90% water and plastic packaging. That means we're shipping around water that we can all get at home from our taps and plastic that we all know is bad for the environment around the globe to clean our houses. And that didn't make sense to us, so we said let's come up with a solution. And what were the requirements for the solution? They were, first of all, they shouldn't require a personal sacrifice because we believe that the ecological challenges that we are facing can only be tackled through innovation to not lose our standard of living that we have. And the second thing was that customers shouldn't compromise on price, convenience, or quality, which are the typical points that people currently have as objectives against more sustainable products. So since then we have developed quite a range of sustainable cleaning products. We have initially started with a range of cleaning tablets. So you can just have your reusable bottle, you drop a tablet in there, it dissolves and you have the same cleaning solution as normally. But we have expanded our product line to almost every application. We have, for example, also laundry sheets. It's like a piece of paper, you drop it in your laundry machine, it touches the water, dissolves and becomes the typical detergent that you're used to. Our business model is quite innovative because we are an online-first company. Thanks to the very compact form factor of our products, they all fit through the letterbox. So that means you can subscribe to a product, not be home when it's delivered, and basically never think about when you get your detergent anymore. It just comes whenever you need it into your mailbox. Also, of course, as a sustainable company, we have sustainability and ethics at the core of our values. So one of our key partners is a sheltered company that gives opportunities to employees or people with a distance to the typical labor market. Every Browse product is, of course, better for the environment than a conventional product that is sold. So in that regard, we are tackling the planet and we are donating every year to things like the Futsal Bank or also offsetting our CO2 emissions to try to be carbon neutral. Our solutions have so far convinced more than 60,000 customers, and we have saved more than 350,000 plastic bottles from ever getting into circulation, and have been able to also win quite a few nice awards. So this shows that Browse is future-proof. Thanks for having me at the Future 10.
Thank you, Manush. Very well done. It was a great pitch, but let's maybe have a seat so I can ask you a few more questions about Browse.
Sure.
So first off, can you maybe tell us a bit more about yourself and your background and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I myself, I have a business background. I came from Germany here to Antwerp to study innovation and entrepreneurship, as I mentioned. So it was always in the plans to become an entrepreneur. And I think the main reason behind it was that I thought that the impact that I could have with a business would always be bigger than the impact I could have as an individual. So let's say, for example, I feel guilty for eating meat, for taking flights, for using products every day that are packed in plastic. I can only do so much as one person trying to cut down on those things and live the best version of myself that I can. But with a business, with the reach that we have, I just said it, we saved more than 350,000 plastic bottles already. I think that's something that would have never been possible just being an employee in a company, but only with the reach that you have through a company.
So I hear that the sustainable aspect has always been in the back of your mind, but how exactly did you came up with the concrete idea for Browse?
Yeah, so we knew that we want to do something impactful when we started looking for a solution to a problem. Could have been social, could have been environmental. But what was also in our minds was that it should be something tangible, because we were all having a business background. None of us had a technical hard skill on a specific field to like solve a technical problem. So we quickly ended up on the problem of plastic waste, because that's something that everybody is aware of. You don't need to start an awareness campaign about it. Everybody knows plastic is bad. And then we started looking, okay, what are the things that are still packed in plastic for which we don't find any viable alternatives that are super inconvenient? And detergents came directly to our mind, because the solutions are, mix your own detergent at home with baking soda and lemon, or go with your refillable bottle into the supermarket. And that's just never going to end up in the mainstream. So we said, okay, we need to find a solution for this specific problem.
Okay, great. So entrepreneurship, as you probably already found out, comes with ups and downs. Can you maybe tell us about one of the biggest challenges you had to face during your entrepreneurial journey?
I would say it was right in the beginning, because making the leap from students who have an idea to actually having a business, or at least like an idea of a business that you can go and pitch to investors, it requires some proof of concept, some prototypes, some minimal viable product in the end of the day. And we reached out to really ton of companies throughout all of Europe, I think close to 100 companies, to pitch our idea, try to explain our vision of the products that we want to bring to market. And in the end, it was only one partner which was willing to make a prototype for us that we could actually go out, start fundraising with, and put like the first building blocks for this company. So I think that was probably the most challenging and also the most crucial part of the journey so far.
Okay. But obviously you overcame that challenge. So you are combining e-commerce and sustainability into one. Do you have any particular sustainable practices that you've integrated in your e-commerce business?
Yeah, so the fact that our products are all hyper concentrated, so they come without water, means that they are much smaller, much lighter. They produce way less emissions in their whole life cycle, from shipping, storage, usage, disposal. So that's already one thing. But of course, we also try to go the extra mile. So we work with partners in shipping and fulfillment which are carbon neutral. We try to minimize use of single-use plastic wherever we can throughout our whole supply chain. So those are all things that we implement, and we are still far from being perfect, but I think we're on a good way there.
You don't only look at yourself, but also at your partners, that they also apply the sustainable aspect in their business.
Yeah, certainly, because just yourself, you have only so much control. You always work with a lot of partners, and I think they probably even have a bigger impact on your footprint as a company in the end than you as an individual.
Okay, very well. Some might say that founding a B2C startup here in Belgium is pretty hard, because we're quite a complicated country, multiple languages, 3 regions, and maybe a bit too small markets to really operate in, or maybe scale your business in the markets. So how did you experience this?
I agree that Belgium is a complicated market and a small market, but I believe that to just get started, just talking from our own experience, this complexity offers a lot of opportunity at the same time, because if you manage to set up your business in this environment, just for example, the labeling of our detergents needs to be legally in German, French, and Dutch. Just in Belgium, it opens doors in terms of internationalization and expansion, and facilitates you, because then your products are already ready to go to Germany, to go to France, the biggest countries in Europe, and directly enter the market without having to double check. So in that regard, Belgium is actually a great testing ground to grow from there in Europe, in my opinion.
Did you already start scaling, and how did you experience it then? Because you say, hey, you already had to provide your product in 3 languages. So was it easy to start the scaling process?
We started scaling very fast, so we tried to start like multinational from scratch, and we saw that it's easier said than done. There's a lot of more cultural finesse behind what you need to deliver to actually be successful in those markets. It's more than just a language. So we scaled back again, and now we're again on the way of scaling abroad. Yeah, certainly, I mean, the Netherlands is by now our biggest market actually, so the scaling has been successful more or less so far.
Okay, very interesting to hear that you first maybe took a step back before going forward again. Another question, you're with 3 co-founders, if I'm correct?
Yes.
I know that a lot of co-founders might be a struggle for some companies, and it might be a reason why startups fail. How did you tackle it? How did you work together with your co-founders? Do you maybe have any tips for people wanting to start a startup with multiple founders?
I think my first tip would be try to be an uneven number of founders, because if you are in a 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2 situation, things can become difficult to solve. We had the luck, I would say, to be 3 people. So if there is a dispute, you will always end up with a majority. And at that point, you just need enough common sense. And I can consider myself blessed with my co-founders that this common sense is there within all of us, to just also, when a decision is made, even if you don't agree with it, still support it and go through with it. And I think all of us have seen across these past years that the way that we see things isn't necessarily the only right way, because a lot of times each of us has been proven wrong when things have been done another way, that actually it has had very fruitful outcome.
Maybe a side question on this one. Did you already know each other before starting the company?
No, actually, we have been studying for 2 months together, but we were not friends. We didn't really get in contact a lot. And then we found ourselves really just with the ambition of, we want to end this year with a company and not just with handing in like a master project and then going to apply for a job. So that was like the common ground that we had to find each other. And then in the end, it turned out that also on a human level, we can get along very well, actually.
Okay, very nice to hear such a positive story. Now, I also know you've raised a million in fundraising already. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Can you maybe take us through the process of how it went, the fundraising?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask, because my co-founder Louis raised that 1 million almost all alone last year. So he really went out talking to venture capitals, to business angels, to everybody you could imagine, while we were busy running the business, so he had to deliver the funds. And after a couple of months, I woke up and suddenly we had the greatest investors I could have wished for on board, and he accomplished his mission. So let's see if we send him on a mission like that soon again.
Okay, that's of course a positive thing of being with multiple people in your startup, that you can split the tasks. So maybe if you want to know more about fundraising, go find Louis at the Future Fair later on. Then we can move on to our next question. During your entrepreneurial journey, what was your biggest high so far?
I think every time that we bring a new product to the market, it's a long process. There are a lot of partners involved. There's a lot of insecurity. But when you actually have a physical product in your hands, not a prototype, but what you're actually starting to send out to thousands of people, and then you start getting back positive feedback, and you see it's a success and people like it, that's very fulfilling, and that really fills me with pride.
Okay, very nice to hear. Then on the other side, what's maybe already the biggest lesson you've learned during your entrepreneurial journey?
Since the beginning, since we have been studying, but also afterwards, we have gone through 2 different accelerator programs. We have had investors, so mentoring and coaching has always been a part of our journey. We have always been equipped with a variety of mentors and coaches. And a learning of mine was that all those experts, they are rightfully called so because they have accomplished great things in their respective fields, but they can only grasp so much of your thing that you're doing as you are willing to share with them. And in the end, it's up to you to use them as a mirroring board and try to get challenged on as many aspects of the business that you may have not thought of yourself. But in the end, you are the one in the driver's seat and you are the one who has to make the decision, because you ask 10 people and you get 10 different answers and all of them may be correct, but you have to make the decision.
So what I'm hearing is you have to dare to make decisions, push your boundaries and really go for it.
Absolutely.
Okay, then I have one final question for you. We're here with a very young audience with maybe also very big dreams. Do you have one tip for them if they want to start their own company?
It's something that one of our professors used to tell us, and it's get out of the building. Don't think you can start from behind your laptop screen, but really move out, start talking to people from the industry, people who are like-minded, and then the ball will get rolling and things will happen.
Hey, that's a very nice tip. I hope you all take that with you. That was our last question already, so I want to thank you very much for being here with us on stage tonight. Can I get one big round of applause for Manush?
Thank you.